Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is me, it is the OG, and we are here for chapter 18 on programming in basics. This is chapter 18. It is called Finding the Right Pages. And I just thought that maybe I should probably be doing this on a real CoCo. Not that I should, but why not? So why not do this on a real CoCo 3? So I tried copying the virtual floppy disk over from VCC to my CoCo SDC, and I'm getting some type of error where it can't read it, and I think the disk has now magically gotten bigger than the actual disk format, because I think the disk format's something like 158K, and this file is now something like 200K. So I guess VCC will allow me to continue to add things to a floppy disk and possibly ignore the space limitations of the floppy disk. So other than that, I am going to go ahead and try to do this now. And I'm going to try to do it on a real CoCo, but since I don't have my original program saved, I'm going to have to type it over again. But, you know, if we're doing retro programming and retro computing, let's do it on the real computer and let's make the struggle a lot more real. For those of you who are maybe playing along at home, I'm not sure what you've actually been doing it on. If you've even been doing it and doing the programming, or if you're just watching out of curiosity, I don't know. But if anybody was programming, obviously you've probably already realized that you could program this on whatever you want. You can program it. Right now we're doing everything in extended color basic, so you can color computer 1 or 2 with extended color basic, and like 16K of memory is all you need to run these. So we're going to do chapter 18, Finding the Right Pages. So we just finished chapter 17 where we talked about the PMODE command. Chapter 17 did talk about how different PMODEs have different number of pages. And so now we're going to see an example of how these pages work. So, excuse me. So, in writing this book, we've stored chapters on pages. Some chapters require more pages. Some chapters require less. In the same sense, Color Basic stores graphic screens, 1,536 byte blocks into graphics memory, or pages. Some screens require more pages, some screens require less. Table 18-1 shows you how many pages it takes to draw a screen in each mode. As you can see, a screen drawn in a higher resolution mode, which offers higher resolution or more colors, consumes more memory pages than a screen drawn in a lower mode. So, if we have a mode 4 screen, it requires, meaning PMODE 4, PMODE 4 requires 4 pages of memory. PMODE 3 requires 4 pages. PMODE 2 requires 2 pages. PMODE 1 requires 2 pages, but PMODE 0, which is the lowest resolution in the black and white mode, only requires 1 page of memory. So let's see what happens if we now store our famous lines program on different pages. So the first thing I have to do is I have to retype in this lines program. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. 5 PMODE 1,1. I'm not going to be typing anywhere nearly as quickly on this CoCo keyboard. 10 PCLS. PCLS. Okay. 20 screen 1,1. 25 line 0, 0 through 255, 191. Oops, I got to put parentheses around this crap. 255, 191, comma P set. Okay, line 30 is that's going from the corner to the corner. Line 30 is line 0, 191 through 255, 0, which is going in the opposite direction, comma P set. Okay, line 40 is go to 40. Let's save this as lines on my new floppy. Okay, and there we go. So now when I run it, here is the program. Alright, so there's my lines program in a PMODE 1, which is a low resolution mode, and you can see the X and you can see the pixels are very big. Now I can press the actual break key. Okay, now it says focus on PMODE. As you know, the first PMODE parameter tells the computer to start in PMODE 1 screen. And as table 18-1 tells you, PMODE 1 screen requires 2 pages of memory. The second parameter tells the computer to start on page 1. So let's go back and look at that. PMODE 1, 1. So PMODE 1, the first one tells you the mode, the second one tells you the page. Yes, so it tells you to start on page 1. Now, it says here, to put the 2-page line screen together on page 3 and 4, type in PMODE 1, 3. So for line 5, we're going to type in PMODE 1, 3. So instead of putting it on page 1, we're putting it on page 3. Run the program, it shows the same screen, but the screen is on entirely different pages. So when I run the program, okay, it looks exactly the same, but it's saying it's on different pages. Okay, that's fascinating. So we started off on PMODE 1, 1, which is page 1. Then we're saying that PMODE 1 requires 2 pages of memory, and then we go to page 3. So I'm not sure if this is absolute or relative numbering on how we're changing these things here. It says, how about storing 2 screens, one on page 1 and one on page 2, and another on page 3 and on page 4? Holy freaking crap. All right, why? How about storing 2 screens? One on pages 1 and 2, and one on pages 3 and 4. Change line 5 and delete line 20, add lines 27 and lines 28. You're killing me here. All right, what do you want me to do here? It says change line 5. Line 5 is going to go back and say PMODE 1, 1. All right, then it says line 10 says PCLS. Delete line 20. Line 20 says screen 1, 1. So we're going to delete line 20. So line 5 changes to PMODE. Line 10 still says PCLS. Now line 25 is still drawing one of those lines, which is stored on pages 1 and 2. Now line 27 is going to switch to PMODE to 1, 3, which goes to page 3. Line 28 is going to do a PCLS. And then line 30 is going to draw the line, and line 40 is going to go to itself. But the problem with this right now is the screen command is not here. When I list this out, when I list this program out, so 10 PCLS, we're not setting, with line 5 sets to PMODE, line 10 does a PCLS, line 25 draws a line on the first page, line 27 switches to page 3, line 28 clears that screen, line 30 draws a line on the other page, and line 40 goes to itself. But nowhere in here have we actually activated the screen command to make that graphic screen visible. So when I run this, it's just going to itself. It has actually drawn 2 different images on 2 different pages, but it has not displayed either one of these pages because the screen command is not running. Okay, so we did that. It says the first part of your program starts on mode 1. And it clears this screen and puts a line on it. The next part of the program starts on mode 1 but switches to page 3 and 4. It clears this screen and puts a line on it, but it says run the program and you won't see other screen because there's no screen statement. So add 35 screen 1, 1. Okay, let's break the program. Let's list it. Let's add line 35 screen 1, 1. But at this point, I think we're only going to see the one of the screens, right? So when I run this, I only see the one line because the other line is on a different page. When you activate the screen command, you're showing one of the screens, but you're only going to see the most recent screen. So it says when Color Basic displays the screen, it uses the most recent PMODE instruction to tell it what the current graphic screen is. In this case, the most recent PMODE is PMODE 1, 3. Tells Color Basic that the current graphic screen is in mode 1 on screen pages 3 and 4. Insert another PMODE line just before the screen command, and Color Basic displays a mode 1 screen. So on line 32, we need to do PMODE 1, 1. So let's do this. So line 30 draws the second line. Let's remember where that was. So right now on the second page we have the line that goes from bottom left to top right. Okay, now when we list this out again, it says add line 32, type in PMODE 1, 1. So now when we run it, we actually see the other one from top left to bottom right. So each line is on a different page, and you can switch to the page and then activate the screen command to push that page to what the active page that we see. Now it says add just for kicks, have color basic display a mode 2 screen that starts on page 2, and guess what you'll see? Change line 32 to PMODE 2, 2. Okay, let's do that. Line 32, PMODE 1, 2. Let me just make sure I'm reading this correctly. Just for kicks, do mode 2. Make it say PMODE. No, it's making okay. Just for kicks, have color basic display a mode 2 screen that starts on page 2, and guess what you'll see? Change line 32 to say PMODE 2, 2. Since mode 2 requires 2 pages, you'll see what's on page 2 and 3, and since this is mode 2, you'll see the screen in 2 colors with medium resolution. So line 32, it says do page PMODE 2, 2. All right, let's run it again. And ooh, that is weird. We are seeing, I don't know what we're seeing. We're seeing half of the X. That is weird. So by changing to PMODE 2, we are seeing a different page of memory at a different resolution. It's black and white, and so now it is I don't know what the heck it is. I'm seeing part of one page and part of another page, but I'm really confused on where that is in the grand scheme of pages. Okay, but we're now going to learn how to flip screens. Flipping screens. As you know, animators make cartoons by drawing many still pictures and then flipping through them. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. This program flips screens. Okay, let's list through it here, and let's just try to match what's in the book. Okay, line 5 is PMODE 1, 1. Line 10 is PCLS. Line 25 is line 0, 0 through 255, 191 P set, and what it's saying here is that that is storing information on pages 1 and 2. Okay, now on line 27 we go to PMODE 1, 3, clear that screen, draw another line that is now storing things on pages 3 and 4. Line 32 switches back to PMODE. Well, I got to change that now. I got to go back to 32 and say PMODE 1, 1. So line 32 changes things to PMODE 1, 1, and does a screen 1, 1, and then does that. Now we need to add a new line. So before it used to say 40, go to 40. So right now, after we go to 35 and we display that screen, we are going to add, I'm assuming that's a 30, well, it was changing that to a 34 screen 1, 1. So we'll just type in 34 screen 1, 1, and then we'll do a 35 for I equals 1 to 200. Next I, that's going to put in a pause there. That displays this page and it pauses. Now let me list this out some more. Now we go down to line now 38. 38 is going to say PMODE 1, 3. That switches to page 3 and 4. Line 40 is now going to say screen. CoCo keyboard sucks. Line 40, screen. This may be the first and last time I used the CoCo 3 keyboard. That sucks. Line 42 says for I equals 1 to 200 colon next I. And then line 44 says go to 32. And I don't have the ability now to show my mouse hovering over the text code, so that might be another reason to go back to VCC where I can mouse point and highlight a certain part on the screen. I can't do that because this is a direct live catcher from my real CoCo. I can't mouse point on it. So here's the program, and it's small enough to fit on screen. So line 5 says PMODE 1, that sets it into a PMODE 1 is a 4-color low resolution mode. Line 10 says PCLS, clears the screen. Line 25 draws one line on that screen. Line 27 switches to PMODE 1, 3, which is the next 2 pages. PCLS clears that one, draws the other line. Line 32 then switches back to PMODE 1, which is page 1, and then activates the screen command so we can see page 1, and then it pauses for the count of 200. Line 38 then goes to PMODE 1, 3, which is the second page. Then we do a screen, is it screen 1, 3? Yeah, screen 1, 3. Is that the right command? Okay. Screen 1, 3, because that's that mode, and that's kind of strange. Okay, screen 1, 3 then switches to graphics, screen 3, pauses for the count of 200, and then 44 goes back to 32, where it just keeps switching to the different pages and activating the screen. So what we should see is an alternation of the 2 lines here as it's flipping through pages. Boom, 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 right? So that is basic animation, but it's actually flipping between 2 pages. So these pages could be completely filled with graphics. And then you can switch between pages rather quickly and show something else. And so in a lower resolution mode, you can get somewhere between 4 and 8 pages of images, and then you can quickly switch between those pages. So that's kind of cool, right? And so this is now illustrating the concept of using PMODE mode, page. And so the mode sets the resolution, the page number sets the page. Now, it looks like it is an absolute numbering system instead of a relative numbering system. Like I would think if you had 4 pages in your mode, you could just say PMODE, like PMODE 4 has 2 pages. So you could do PMODE 4, 1, PMODE 4, 2. But PMODE 3 also has 2 pages. And then we get into PMODE 2. PMODE 2 has 4 pages, but they're saying that each page is really 2 pages. So page 1 starts on the first screen. It's only half the screen. Page 2 is the bottom half of the screen. Page 3 is the top of the next screen. Page 4 is the bottom of that screen. So it's like every odd number begins a new screen. So PMODE 1, 1 is the first page, 1, 3 would be the second page, 1, 5 would be the third page, and 7 would be the fourth page, as I think that's how that's going. And then when it comes to PMODE 0, which is the black and white page, there's actually 8 individual pages, so you could do page number 1 through 8. And it even says here now, it says adding pages. It says you have a maximum of 8 pages of graphics memory, pages 1 through 8. However, when you first start up Color Basic, you only see half that amount, pages 1 through 4. And for example, make this change to the line program and then run lines. So if I make this change to the line program and I list it, and so it says on line 5, change it to PMODE 1, 4. So if I go to line 5 and I just type in PMODE, if I can find the right keys, 1, 4, and now when I run it, I'm getting a function call error in 5. It says run lines and you'll get an FC error. You're asking Color Basic to use pages 4 through 5. However, page 5 is not available. To remedy this problem, insert line 4 and now you'll have all 8 pages. So line 4, I need to say PCLEAR 8. That clears enough memory for all 8 pages, and it basically says I am now going to take this memory away from Basic for your program, and I'm going to reserve it for graphics pages. And so now I've just eaten up 12K of your memory for graphics. Now when I run the program again, now I'm seeing it, and it's on a different page. Okay, interesting. So it says here that PCLEAR lets you reserve from 1 to 8 pages of memory. If you use PCLEAR, it needs to be your program's first or second statement after clear if you use clear. PCLEAR space pages reserves pages in graphics memory. Pages is the amount of pages, the amount of graphics memory to reserve from 0 through 8. On startup, your computer reserves 4 pages. You can use PCLEAR to reserve more or fewer pages. You may wonder why we don't use PCLEAR 8 all the time. The reason? PCLEAR 8 decreases program memory. Sometimes we need more program memory. Other times you need more graphics memory. PCLEAR sets the balance. And on the sidebar here it says, if you ever have a conflict between program memory requirements and video memory requirements, you'll get a $OM error, meaning out of memory. So if you're trying to do things and you've eaten up all the memory for your program because you've reserved too much graphics memory and you don't have enough memory left for the program itself to run, you will get an OM memory error, which means out of memory. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick pause for the cause here for just a moment. I will be back, but we've got a few more things to do here in just a minute. So don't go anywhere. We got more basic programming to do. See you in a few.